Monophobia, in its most general sense, refers to a fear of being alone. However, like many other phobias, it can take on specific nuances, including an irrational fear of the number one. While less common than the fear of being alone, the fear of the number one is a real phenomenon and stems from a complex interplay of psychological, cultural, and personal factors. At the core of any phobia, including the fear of the number one, is anxiety. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder characterized by an intense, irrational fear of an object, situation, or in this case, a numeral. The cause of phobias is often a combination of genetic predisposition, brain chemistry, and life experiences. In the case of the fear of the number one, monophobia, cultural factors can play a significant role. Numerical superstitions are prevalent in many cultures. For example, in Western cultures, the number 13 is often considered unlucky, leading to the widespread phenomenon of triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13. In contrast, Eastern cultures may view certain numbers as particularly auspicious or inauspicious due to their phonetic similarity to words with negative meanings. While the fear of the number one is less documented, it can be rooted in cultural narratives that ascribe negative or frightening attributes to it. Personal experiences and beliefs can also contribute to monophobia. If a person has had a negative or traumatic experience that they associate with the number one, they might develop an aversion to it. For example, if a significant negative life event occurred on the first day of a month, an individual might subconsciously link the concept of one with bad luck or misfortune. Another contributing factor might be the symbolism and connotations associated with the number one. It can represent solitude, the beginning of a journey, or the pressure of being first or the best. For someone who may struggle with the fear of isolation or intense pressure to succeed, the number one could inadvertently become a trigger for those fears. Treatment for monophobia, like other specific phobias, usually involves a combination of therapy, education, and sometimes medication to manage anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a common form of treatment that helps individuals challenge and change their irrational fears by restructuring their thought patterns and responses to the feared object or situation. Exposure therapy is another strategy that might be used. This therapy involves gradually and repeatedly exposing a person to the feared object. Number one, in this case, in a safe environment until the anxiety response diminishes. Over time, through exposure, a person with monophobia can develop a sense of control over their fear and reduce their anxious reactions. It is important to note that the fear of the number one is exceptionally rare, and most phobias related to numbers tend to be associated with culturally recognized superstitions. Nonetheless, for individuals suffering from any phobia, seeking help from a mental health professional can be beneficial in leading a more comfortable and less fear-constrained life.